I stumbled, tripping my toe on a slightly raised brick of Swambia Felix Street. Willow's arm was entwined with mine. She remarked about the apparent dangers of walking on uneven terrain, dryly. I had stumbled, catching the toe of my shoe. "I just had the most amazing experience, Willow." "Sure, I noticed," she replied. "No, not that, Willow. It was a transcendent experience of a plethora of geometric, solid, atemporal universes in no space. Is it anything like that little bitty carbon bit feeling of cosmic consciousness?" "No, Willow, it wasn't anything like that. Instead, I perceived the complete notion inwardly, or outwardly, simply as mind-experiencing objects." "Great, just don't trip on anything else when blimsnoggers are about," she directed. We entered a soft Nubian swan sloop shuttle tunnel of Love's storefront, built before the takeover of New Babylon by Abimelech's crude political power push. Willow gave a couple of counterfeit New Babylon credits for our passage. After changing into suitable clothes catched in a duffel sack, we entered the solar system gravitational directed field network for a paradoxical journey to another part of the planet, taking care to elude possible tails by double switchbacks over hundreds of millions of miles to the edge of the Kuiper Belt. The shaped gravitational fields were a development following general principles of relativity and pragmatic data about the development of gravitational fields in natural history. Gravitational fields on the surface are associated with mass concentrations proportional to the amount and configuration of mass. Gravity fields exert their attractive force at the speed of light, accelerating objects within their field at that speed in the absence of resistant forces, and given sufficient time to permit the speed to be attained. Eventually, we reached the Swambian plain of deadly fruits. Grotesque swine lizards and homohues of the Orphic domain made surface navigation hazardous. Since our arrival a week before, Willow and I hadn't encountered any of the eponymous semi-sentient death fruits produced from a genotype of Bamalekian design, paradigmata with the knowledge of the difference between good and evil, accentuated entirely in favor of evil. Traveling in local defilade, our appearance resembled no more than a vaporous mirage, noticeable only at close range, at high noon, if then. The light bent around us by field subtraction of our reflectivity criteria with inferred visual compensation added. 100 kilometers journey afoot over the slightly rolling hills. At the margin of the plain of deadly fruits was a dried-out landscape with sparse large plants suffering adaptively under intense heat. Our third day in the land brought an intense downpour of rain, sending flash floods upon empty riverbeds with drenching humidity for a few hours to wring sweat and drip salt into red eyes, as the Adamas sought to restore itself to a drier, powdery state below a veneer of mud crust. The remainder of the first week brought a few skeletal remains strewn sparsely, some with a fragment of sinew or patch of hair or fur and distant flying things that might have been actual abnormal animals. These were our closest encounters with corrupted federal life forms. The Bamalek Code is the way to understand how Ben Bamalek controls New Babylon, Pat. A power to brainwash and control a world for conformity into the image of the beast. Power to conquer the people of the world and reform them into fops of sadism. Controlling power of a political or physical nature requires interactive transitional conduits of some form to communicate power and establish protocols, feedback regulatory circuits, and design actualization. Some political power may be only of a psychological nature on subjects. Even that must have some sort of means of mass propagation. Ben Bamalek's power is so far not entirely understood, nor is the true nature and extent of his power or realm that could be universal in this one universe. If that is so, we might better understand the relation of Bamalek's power upon the universe being in time and discover how it interacts with other universes and what delimits his power from those other universes.